Hello coders, welcome to my video again. And in this video, what we will be discussing is a library that we will be using to create our JSON data. As we have discussed in the last videos, like what is a JSON, what are the components of the JSON. And in this video, we will take a library reference from Ubuntu and we try to use APIs that is mentioned in the header file to create our JSON data file. So first of all, we'll try to install that JSON library in Ubuntu. We will take Ubuntu 20 as reference. We'll discuss what all APIs we will be using to create that JSON data file, and we'll discuss the JSON data which we will be creating from that C code. And in the last, we'll discuss all the APIs that is related to that library and make a complete set of code that will help to create you a JSON data file for your projects. Okay, so let's start with that. So in this, we will try to install the libcjson library in our Ubuntu, that is Ubuntu 20 for reference, and we will try to use this library APIs to create our JSON data. Okay, so this is libcjson-dev. This is the name of the package which we will be installing in our Ubuntu. If you have other versions of Ubuntu, you can click on these versions and you will get the related commands. So here the CJSON is a ultra lightweight JSON parser. Okay, so it happens often like we need to parse some JSON data coming from some server, or we want to send some data to our server in the JSON file. So this library will help in your project to create and to parse the JSON data for your reference. Okay. So it will aim to be the dumbest possible parser that you will get your job done with. Okay. So it's a single file of C and a single header. So we have cjson.h header that we will include in our application to create our JSON data. So here we have the commands that helps to install our libcjson library. That is, first we need to update our apt-get, and then we will install with a sudo command. So if I take this and what I will do, I'll go here and I just paste it and I press enter. So if you see here, I already installed this libcjson-dev and it's a newer version, that is 1.7. Okay, so to here, and I just find cjson.h. You will see you will get it in user includes as well. Okay, so if I copy this and I try to open this, you will get a full header file for your CJSON object. Okay, so here we have get object and other related APIs that we will discuss. So we don't need to, cram these APIs for now. So for now, our main purpose is to create a JSON file data. So we are just creating it. We're not parsing it. We are not observing it. So only creating. So what are the APIs we will be using? So let's go to that. So as we install our libcjson library, now these are the APIs that we will be using to create our JSON data. So here is a list of that. So if you go from first, you have cjson underscore create object. So this will create your JSON object. Like you have multiple objects in your JSON data file, and this will create that object. Now, if you want to create an array, so you will use cjson create array. This will create an array. Okay. And next we have cjson add string to object. So this will create a string that will be added on top of that object. Okay. So add number to object, add bool data to object, add items to object. Okay. So if you want to add some child, what do you say, the object, then you can use this API. So you have CJSON add items to array. If you want to add the items to an array object, so that way also you can use this API. And we have CJSON create string. If you want to create a string and put it into your JSON data, that also you will do by using this API. And CJSON print. So this will give you a formatted CJSON data that is visible to the human readable format is there. Then you have CJSON delete, that will free up your entire JSON file tree. Okay, that you will create while compiling or you're running your program. So it will dump and remove that memory. Okay, for cleanup. Okay, so these are the only APIs that we will be using in creating our CJSON file. Okay, so what is there in our CJSON file? Let's jump to that. So if you see here, this is the JSON file that we'll be creating using our C program. So this will be the result of your program. Okay, so our library will create this data on the go by using C APIs. So first of all, if you see here, this is an example of a Wi-Fi related and a network data of a router or something. So if you see here, I put some green marks that are the main objects in this JSON file. So if you see here, you have device as the main object, your network object, and we have Wi-Fi objects. So if you go deep into that, you have this data, this key value data in your device object. Then we have network object. In network object, we have child object as WAN, LAN, and DNS servers. Okay, similar to Wi-Fi, we have radio as an object, and these are all the data related to this array. Radio is an array object, and it will create these two radio related data for 2.4G and 5G. Okay, so simple as that. And here, if you see here, you have some data within your object, your child object as well, and you have created an array here. Okay, so this is our test data that we will be creating by using the APIs that we have studied in the last slide. So let's jump directly to the code to create this JSON file data. Okay, so let's go to the code directly. So I will have this create JSON file here. Okay, so it will contain lot of APIs, and that all APIs I've listed earlier. Now we will check for the users of that APIs. So first of all, the main thing to see here is this header file. Okay, so this header file we need to include in our application to make all the APIs that we have listed in libcjson to be accessible to this program. Okay, so if you see first line, this is a root object. It won't be shown in your data, but it will be a buffer to create all the data and then push that data to that file. Okay, so this is a temporary object we will create. Okay, so first is a root object we have created here like this. Next is a device object. So we have three objects. We have device, network, and Wi-Fi that we have discussed. And in the device, we have some data here. Okay, so first one is CJSON add string to object. So we have the object as device, and we will put uh, some strings over there. So first is a device ID, and we have some data here. SGW001 is the name of the device. Then the next we have add string to object device, and the data is manufacturer, test manufacturer. Then we have model, then we have firmware version. So all this data will be added under this device object. So we have key value pairs there. Okay, so we have device colon the data, manufacturer colon the data. So this way it will add it to the device column. Okay, and this device, as we know we need to add into the temporary object, that is root. Okay, so this device will be added to root object to make that data visible. Okay, next we have the network object. So network object will create, and then we will not directly add the data. We have the sub object or a child object to this network. So for that, we'll create a new object here and we'll list it WAN. And under WAN, we have these data mode, IPv4, and gateway. These three items will be under this WAN. And then add items to data. So what items to data? We have a network as the main object and we have WAN as a child object. So this network will add WAN object under it. Okay. So next we have the LAN object. So after WAN, if we have remembered that data which we have created, and that was we have main as network, WAN, LAN, and DNS servers. So that three are the child objects under that. So for the LAN, we create a LAN object, then we add strings to that, that is IP and subnet. Simple as that. And these data will be added to the LAN object here. Okay, so this is the independent child object. Okay, now we need to add it to the network object. So we will do like this. We'll add this LAN object under network because it's a sub object. Then if you see, we have DNS servers, and this is enough array type. We have two arrays of DNS mask under this array. So we'll create an array of DNS and add items to array. In this, we will add DNS servers and we'll create the string. This is a DNS that will create as a string, and this will be added to the DNS servers. Then the next is we will be adding 1.1.1 also under the same array, and we will add the items to array. So once this array is completed, we have to add that object network under DNS server. So I will be adding like this here. And as you know, this network is a part of root only. So root will add this object under it. So we have network and what else? We have WAN. WAN and network under root now. Okay, so this will give you a tree form of structure. And next we have the Wi-Fi object. So last part we have, right? So we will create a Wi-Fi object. Then we have to do a bool object. We'll create a boolean of enable or disable of the Wi-Fi. Then we have an array of radios. So what that radios, what we will do, we'll add this array and we'll add string to this object again with band, SSID and channel number. So if you see here, this is the data of the radio 1 and this will be under radio 1. Okay. And at the last, what I will be doing, I will be adding radio 1 under radio, that is an array here. Okay. Next is radio 2. Similar to that, I will create a radio 2 and I will add 5G of data, channel number and SSID under that. And then I'll add again radio 2 to radio, because radio is an array and we will be adding two you know object under that. Okay, so next is we'll add this Wi-Fi under radios, because Wi-Fi is a main object and we have radios under that. So once we do that, we have Wi-Fi object complete now. So Wi-Fi of all the data of radios array, and now I will add this Wi-Fi also under root. So if you see, you have a tree structure having the root object at the top, and then we have WAN, then we have network, then we have Wi-Fi. Okay, and now we have to convert this JSON tree to string now, because we want to put all this data into a file. So what I will do, I'll print it first. Okay, so we'll create a pointer and we'll get all the CJSON print what our tree we have under root object. And once it is done, I'll first print it. So this will print your JSON, full JSON tree under in the console itself. And then what I will do, I'll open a file that is router config.json in the writable form. And then what I will do, I will fprintf fp. So this is a file descriptor. I will be putting all the JSON data tree on this file descriptor, and then I'll close it and JSON successful return to the router.c. So this file is created successfully, and now I'll free this JSON. So what JSON have, that will have a root object now, and I don't need it because it's already been written in the file. And then we delete this memory, whichever is created in the root. So at last we need to delete it because everything we have in the file now. Okay. So this way we can create our data successfully. So let's see what is the data, and let's re-verify what is the expected data and what is the resultant data. So let's close it for now. Now I have to compile it. So I will do JSON create. Okay, so under that we have JSON create, and if I compile it, I'll get some undefined reference here, because right now we have not linked our library to our program. So how to link it? So I have to do cjson. That's it. So we will link this cjson library to this program, and when we enter it, it got successful. Now we have this file as the resultant app. Now I will run this. So if you see here, all the data, that is device, network, WAN, LAN, DNS servers, and Wi-Fi, all the radios related data is been created, and JSON successful return to the router config.json. So our file is created successfully. So if I list it, so if I cat this router, so you will get this data here. Okay, and if you compare, you have device object, you have network object, and you have Wi-Fi object. Okay, all the data is being arranged in a proper manner. So this is how you can create a JSON data to send to some server, or you have to save some configuration. Okay, so next we will see how to parse the JSON data. For example, you will get some data from the server and you want to parse it and get its value saved into some structure. So how can you do it? We'll see in the next video. So thanks for watching my video, and see you in the next. Thanks.